the board. It's been a crazy market. All right, so where do we start? We talked about the market a lot. I don't think there was anybody calling the market popping out before I did, right? Um, so, that's something we've been aware of, that the market might be topping out, and we talked about it in the room. We did the poll on this day, and we did the live stream on Wednesday. So we talked about it already a lot. It's not a very typical top at all, but it could be the top. It could be, or at least a top. We have a double top. You can see it better on the cues. The attempt to go higher that ended up with a double top and now rolling over. How big of a drop are we going to get? I'm not really sure. But I think if we really cleanly break down, I think we'll keep going to the 20 on the monthly, maybe. So 550 on the cues. Again, if we really keep going, but we need to follow through initially, even just a little bit, before we say we're higher, we're way higher, lower. Sorry, we're way lower to 550. So only time will tell. But the market right now doesn't look good. Looks a little bit lower, as you can see. So we're taking it one day at a time. Okay. There is some geopolitical stuff, Iran. That's probably coming. We don't know for sure, but that might happen. So I don't know how the market will view it. So okay, but likely bearishly, not bullish, likely. And then as far as plays, there hasn't been a whole lot because I can't find very many good plays at all. Everything looks like crap. Can't recognize pattern. That's what it stands for, right? So it's very, very hard to find good setups. Today I had a call on the Moderna, which didn't trigger. When the setup is questionable, don't be in a hurry to get in it. So I gave it room to this bar's high, not to yesterday's, but the day before. All right. So that didn't trigger and failed. This SCV is not triggering. It actually looks like it wants to break down. I may have a call on it short tomorrow because we tried to go higher multiple days, like here, there, and it always failed. So what does that tell us? Probably lower. So that goes on the watch list as a short for tomorrow. As far as open trades, here's what we got. We have, I think, 2 of them stopped out today. Yeah, 2 plays stopped out in the VIR and the Fate, and the rest of them are open. Here's the open positions. Yeah, I think so, Tom. But Tom, hasn't it been, so Tom's point, because there's going to be a lot of people watching the recording. Tom's point, a few weeks back, I thought the poor no follow through, right? The lack of follow through on our swings were symptomatic of a stage 3. Correct, true, but it's been the case all year. I mean, not this year, all year last year. Most of the year last year, we didn't get a whole lot of follow through. So you see what I mean? So it's hard to know if it's really symptomatic of stage 3 or not. But now it is. I agree with you that now it really is. The issue is, find me good setups like that will follow through to the downside or the upside. They don't exist. Almost. Very, very hard to find. Really hard to find. Here's something that is following through. It should be up over 6 Rs if you have it. because I told you to double up the size on it. So that's up over 6 Rs actually. If you sized up. If you didn't, then it's only 3 plus on the guild. IBRX, I was in it short. I was actually in it short, and then it trailed me out on this day. The next day I flipped it to long, only to see it not follow through. So I raised the stop on half. Probably should have raised the stop on the whole thing. And then it trailed on the half. The back half is going to stop out on the IBRX. Okay. ABTC, looking good. Should be up a couple hours already if you shorted it. Okay, so that's doing pretty well. KVUE is, I don't know if it's a buyout. Guys, do you know if it's a buyout? I think it might be a buyout, but the buy setup looked really good and the stock is holding. I had a call on it. It triggered and looks higher. Still looks higher to the 200, but I think it's a buyout. And last but not least, SanDisk. Thanks, Tom. That's what I thought. SanDisk, if you're in, my suggestion to you, do whatever you want. My suggestion is don't let it go easily. I am fairly confident this is a long-term top. Fairly confident it's a long-term top. You can figure out a way to add to it without messing it up, go for it. Because I think this is a long-term top. I actually think it's headed back down to here. Maybe 300, basically, where it broke out from. So you might say, well, it broke out from here. That would be unreasonable. So here's the initial huge move, and this is the big move on top of the huge move. So I think it gives back the entire thing. So I think it's headed down to 300. So that's already, already doing pretty well. Okay. That will update the target to 300 on both the front and the back. And in terms of positions that we closed out of, so what I do is when I track the plays, anything that's been tracked, I highlight it, right? And every couple of weeks, I delete whatever I've tracked, right? So these are the ones that I've tracked going back quite a while, and these are the ones that I haven't yet tracked in the sheet. So let's go over the whole thing. A lot of stop outs, but some nice winners also, like some big gainers. The thing is, if you don't hold some of these, like that Netflix 4+ Rs, the GNL got to target. This one made a little bit of money. The AREC 2.5 Rs, 3 Rs. If you don't hold, then you're not going to pay for the losers. So that's the issue. But again, that's 2.5. That's over 4 on the Netflix. That's 1.5, I think, 1.8. I don't remember exactly. That's break even. That's 3 Rs, the AREC. And then the rest are probably stop outs. So let's take a look at the whole list. There's more, but again, I clear the list every couple of weeks when we do the coaching. Now this coaching we haven't done in some time because first this one I delayed, and then I think we had a holiday, didn't we? At the end of the year. So this one was looking pretty good as a weekly 1, 2, 3, failed. And it was pretty sloppy on the daily, but it stopped out today. Fate also was looking really good, and then it stopped out today. Broke under those bottoming tails. So there's a couple of stop outs. The one that stings a little bit is the yen. That was looking really good. That was up $6, and then it came crashing down, and the stop was never raised because I didn't get any pivots. So I didn't raise it, and then it took me out. Otherwise, that was up a good amount of money. Okay, it was up basically at least 2 Rs. All right, let's see. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. All right. Continuing on. The DD. This was maybe my bad. I shouldn't have called it with a full size. It triggered by 2 cents. I don't know how much, and then it immediately came back in. It wasn't like a totally legitimate play, so I don't know if you risked an R on it, but that one didn't work either on the breakout. And then eventually it did. I mean, eventually it did, but initially it wouldn't. CWeb stopped on the buy side. Looked very good on the hourly chart, which is why I played it. And the yin was already working. So here it is on that hourly chart. Triggered and stopped. As I said, a bunch of stop outs. FMC, I think, was that trailed? Yeah, that was trailed close to break even. Was on a breakout. I don't know which day exactly. I mean, we can go back. It's January 22nd. So January 22nd, that was the call, and then it wouldn't follow through. I raised the stop under the stopping tail, and it trailed for a small loss, and then went back up eventually. And then today it gapped down on probably on earnings because we're in earnings season. The NOW, this was a climactic buy setup, long, and then I got the reversal bar prior to getting, and it didn't get to the target. I wasn't really too sure, to tell you the truth, whether to raise the stop or not, but I'm glad I did. Raised the stop, it trailed out, made over an R, and then it gapped down on earnings. But it had already trailed out 2 days earlier. AREC was a breakout with the target at 475, got right to target. Okay, 5 cents above. ELME was a breakout, but just like the DD, wasn't like a totally legitimate play that you want to risk the bet the farm on. And it triggered, was up a little bit, up maybe an R. It was on this trigger over $3, went to 318, and then it wouldn't go, so I raised the stop to break even, and it trailed. It definitely trailed. Okay. BTE, this one was was looking really good, and then it wouldn't follow through. And I don't know where I raised the stop, but like maybe here somewhere, and then I just killed it. Still around where we entered, still looks higher to me. It's oil, so if the US hits Iran, I think this probably gaps up. Still bullish, but look at the sloppiness. I mean, breaks out, huge red bar, breaks out, gaps down, comes in. So this is a tough one. I'm trading Bitcoin in the post market, not trading it. I got some at the close. Not the shorter term time frames don't look good. I should have gotten out of it already. So looks like it might make it to the 200 on the weekly. Bitcoin doesn't really look good yet. LAC, there was a breakout and it collapsed. So that was trailed out. I don't think that one stopped. Yeah, it trailed out half an hour. Netflix was a short. I don't know exactly what day. I can look at the sheet. January 6th. So it was the 1, 2, 3. But I gave it a little bit of room, which was the right thing to do. Beautiful 1, 2, 3. Didn't shake out, and then I sent out the earnings alert letting you know to hold it into the earnings, and hopefully it did. Gap down below the target. Okay, but that basically made over 4 hours. Zone was looking good as a breakout. You notice it tagged us in, wouldn't follow through. I raised the stop, better than break even. Okay, ABAT, this was a long, and it was exactly like the LAC, exactly like the ARCC, but no follow through. So the ABAT, the stop was raised when I noticed it wasn't following through, and it took us out somewhere here, like here or there. So it didn't stop out, but it did lose. The GNL still looks higher. So this was a longer term play off the monthly, and still looks higher. Real estate, so when it got, I think, to the 200 on the weekly, that was the target, and it got right to target, basically. So those were the most that I tracked. There were others, obviously, over the last few weeks, but those were the most recent tracked. I hope the KVUE keeps moving. What's the Kimberly KMB? Maybe, I think so. I think it is. Yeah, that looks higher still. So the KVUE is following the KMB. So gotta remember to check on the KMB base. All right. What else? Anything else? Any symbols you want me to look at? Trading has been really, really tough. Day trading more than swing trading. So it's making me a little bit not anxious, but I hate wasting my time, and I feel like I'm wasting my time. No consistency at all. Some days I make 2,000, other days I lose 2,000. So I'm waiting for things to get better. In terms of things that I've scanned, I mean symbols that I have for tomorrow. Here's what I got. Okay, so we have some climactic, right? We have Bitcoin, Ethereum. You don't need all of them. Actually, XRP is the best based on the crypto coin itself, but they will all rally or all fail. So I don't recommend getting involved in all of them, because then you have more positions to manage. I would just do like Bitcoin maybe. So that's definitely getting climactic. One more day maybe, could be one more day. I don't know. It could also bottom tonight, especially if there's news, or if it drops one more time overnight and then bottoms. Could happen tonight. The monthly trend is broken for sure. So even if we bottom, it might actually be short term, but it would be nice to catch it for multi-day top at least. So that's interesting. And then along with Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP and Solana, there's a bunch of Bitcoin stocks that are also looking very, very climactic, such as the HOOD coin. MSTR, I don't recommend, but coin and HOOD, if they gap down tomorrow, my intention is to play them aggressively long. HOOD and coin, pretty climactic with Bitcoin. So we'll see. It's weird to me to see HOOD and Bitcoin and Coinbase move in lockstep fashion with Bitcoin. It doesn't make sense to me. This is a brokerage firm. I mean, sure, if Bitcoin drops, maybe there's less activity. I mean, I would think there's more, but they probably hold a bunch of Bitcoin. That might be the reason. Not really sure why they are completely tied to Bitcoin. It seems. Why should they even be? Why should the price of an exchange be tied to Bitcoin? Not sure. Unless it's like MSTR, the entire value of the company is tied to the price of Bitcoin, then it's a different story. All right. So, so keep an eye on these for tomorrow. In addition to the climactics, I don't know what the CCC, but that's really climactic as well. Don't know what that is. Very climactic as well. We should probably look it up. CCC stock to see what kind of a stock this is. So it says it's got nothing to do with Bitcoin, I think. I think it's got nothing to do with Bitcoin. So climactic, the fig is a little bit climactic and might be interesting for a bounce, especially based on the hourly chart. But it's pretty iffy. Not an amazing setup at all. And Bitcoin is looking at the part of Bitcoin, looking lower, looking lower. I'm gonna trim it for now, but we'll be watching it tonight. Okay. And then you have, there's also XRP, Solana. Do I have Solana? I have it up a little bit. Okay. The flow for 1, 2, 3. The better play on flow was to do it on the breakout over here. I was watching it. I might have even had a call on it, but then it dipped, so I probably canceled it, and then it popped. Now has a 1, 2, 3. It's okay, but not amazing. The journey doesn't look like it's going to go back up, but keep an eye on it. If it goes back above 153, we'll go ahead and set an alert. I'll set an alert. So this is Jern. Again, the entry should be over 153, so I'll set the alert to 151. About 150, 152, that's 153. I'll set it at 152. And then the other ones are all climactic. And then for tomorrow, the only thing that I like, SCV, short. So nothing else really. Again, if you have other symbols that you like, please go for it. Let me know, but there's like, there's almost nothing like it. So on the SCV, it'd be under 129. So let's say 127 by 162. Short. Target, no target. We'll have to just manage on the way down if it triggers. Okay. And then again, if you want, you can look at these symbols tomorrow. Ignore these, and you can look at every one of these to see how it's opening tomorrow. And if they gap down, then those would be really interesting. If they gap down or sell off. If they gap up, not as interesting. But those could be interesting for a few days at least. Okay. Now the crypto stuff, wouldn't get all of them. Maybe Bitcoin and maybe Coinbase or Hood. But that's kind of it, I would say. Okay. I did some scanning after the close. That's really all I found. I think Amazon is down in the post market. And then Apple is holding like a champ. Amazing. Amazon, let's see. SanDisk is down in the post market, I think. SanDisk also trading at 550. And then Amazon, yeah, down a little bit, I think to 202. So $20 and so not even 10%, basically. Not even 10%. So 202 on the chart. It's pretty bearish, but to support. Google is down as well. Okay. In the post market, yeah, down about, yeah, down a little bit, What did it close at? 331. So it's down $5. Not a whole lot, but it is down a bit. I agree. So we'll see, But yeah, it's a tricky market, super tricky market that we have. So just trying my best with the swing trading, with the day trading, and it still is a challenge. But that's all I got for tonight. If there's any questions, let me know. I think I got an email, so let me just check real quick. Email from the subscribers. So trading psychology. Let's see. Just reading the email real quick. Yeah. So how do you deal with like losses? The psychology. It's tough. It is tough. It's not easy at all. The thing that gives me confidence or that keeps me going when I have bad stretches is I know I've been through it. Like I've been doing it for 20 years. So I know nothing lasts. The good times don't usually last. Bad times don't last. But at the same time, you have to take your foot off the pedal when it's not great, which it certainly is not right now. Um, and then as far as what else can be done, I leave it up to you. Like whatever works for you psychologically, then you should honor that. But for me, it's not easy either. But I just have been through it, so I know when it's tough, it doesn't usually last. This time it's lasted a long time, actually. But it's like the pandemic. 2 months after the pandemic, I thought it was over. Was an amazing time. And I thought 2 months later, I thought that might have been it. And it lasted 2 years. Not quite 2 years, but it lasted a long time. So the same here. It can last a lot longer than you expect. So protect yourself, but keep in mind that good times don't last, bad times don't last forever. Sometimes they last a long time, longer than you expect. As far as strategies on how to deal with it, what to do, you're focused on the process more than the result. That's what I recommend. Again, is it easy? It's not. But that's what I recommend. And then the rest of it, I leave it up to you to find coping strategies that work best for you psychologically. Each of us has different ways, to overcome adversity. Let's see. Are you all out of the cores? I think this is a core. The SanDisk is a core short. Guild is a core long. So not all out, but those are like the only two that I think are core. Tim, when you say a lot longer, are we talking months or years? I told you the pandemic, I thought it was going to last 2 months. Ended up lasting basically about 18 months. That was, of course, a very special time. So I'm not expecting this environment to last 18 months. But like Tom said, maybe because we're in stage 3 and you really don't know you're in stage 3 usually, you can kind of guess that you might be in stage 3, but maybe because we're in stage 3 and stage 3 is starting to break down to to the downside. So maybe the worst is behind us already. I would hope that the worst is behind us already. If we go back up, then I don't know how long it'll last. But if this is stage 3 and we've been in stage 3 for last 6 months, not quite, basically, so then maybe that's it. Maybe it's a matter of weeks, not even months. All right. I have to admit, when the market is dropping, swing trading is difficult still, because you can very hard to get short when the market is down, because it keeps gapping down. Things keep gapping down. They don't gap up. I mean, they don't set up. They don't wait for you. Fear is a much stronger emotion than greed, and so if you're not short already, you're gonna have a hard time like getting short. So even if this period is behind us and we're now in for a drop, the drop usually is not that easy for swing trading, but it will just change the entire environment so that whatever comes after should be easy. And you can look for the bounce to play the bounce, So that's what I'm saying. All right. Is it the same time frame? No, I think on the way down, day trading will be easier, a lot easier. So I think day trading is, will turn around a lot sooner than, I don't want to say a lot sooner than swing trading, but it could, we could see a turn any day. And I think they will probably turn around, about the same time, is what I'm thinking, about the same time. All right. Okay. What else? Anything else? All right. Okay. No, no questions. All right, let's go ahead and call it a day. And I'll see you all, most of you at least, in the room tomorrow morning. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon. Take care, guys.